Hello there viewers, and welcome to another edition of our women's program Karampe. Today we are delighted once again to be in your midst because we are here with a very interesting topic with two very interesting personalities who have joined us in this program today. We will be talking about women's safety and the role that the Meghalaya police especially playing towards elevating the problems of women that they suffer from, and especially the crimes that women tend to suffer from, and what are the kind of mechanisms that they have come up with recently to address this issue on the safety and the security of women. Well, without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce them to you. To my left is Madam Supriya Das. She is from the IPS cadre and she is currently the Superintendent of Police in the CID Department of the state. We are also being joined by Miss Neena Rabha. She is from the MPS cadre and she is basically now posted as a Deputy Superintendent of Police also in the same department called the CID. So very hearty welcome to both of you for taking your time out and coming to the studios of Doordarshan Meghalaya and to talk to us once again about this issue that we have taken up, and that is the security, the safety and the security of women, and the kind of role that Meghalaya police especially playing, and recently that you have come up with a very unique mechanism, and that is the Cop Watch, the app that you have come up with. So we will be coming to that later. But for the sake of our viewers, because it is so wonderful to have both of you, and that also from the uniform, from the, branch of our society. Ma'am Supriya, kindly tell us a little bit more about yourself.
So I joined the Indian Police Service in the year 2017, and my first posting has been in the city of Shillong as the Subdivisional Police Officer, where I was looking at all sorts of crimes, including crime against women, crimes related to drugs and NDPS, and also law and order issues, VIP movement, all of that in Shillong city. Thereafter, I spent 1 year as additional SP in East Khasi Hills, where I got more of an opportunity to focus on crime against women and children and to provide independent investigation, ensure conviction in such cases, and actually work with victims and help them get a sense of relief and in their rehabilitation.
Okay, and if I come to you, Ma'am Rabha, can you tell us a little bit more? It must be a very interesting profession that you are into.
Yes, ma'am. Certainly it was, because although I am a 2015 MPS cadre, but prior to that I was appointed as sub-inspector in the year 2012, where I had served in Williamnagar as well, and I was there on a probation. While being there on probation, I had handled many women related cases, and after that being an MPS officer as well, the same place in Williamnagar, I had handled same cases, and also while being there in Delhi, there also I have I have encountered many such issues relating to women. So it had been a great experience till now, and although there are many ventures coming up for me to
I'm sure which both of you will handle very deftly.
Yes.
Okay, so there you have it, dear viewers. These are our two panelists. We will be interacting with them, but before we go on full on with this topic that we have taken up, let us just pause for a little while with the two of them and watch a short video clip that we have made for you based on this topic that we are discussing today.
Women play the central role in the home and society, yet they are not given their due. This is because society has always placed women as second-class citizens owing to the patriarchal mindset and values ingrained in society, especially in a country like India. It's because of this mindset that women don't have a voice and are often at the receiving end of violence and all forms of targeted attacks. Thus, women don't feel safe in society, and more so, even in their own homes, they are often the victims and do not feel secure. It's with this goal in mind that the CID branch of the Meghalaya Police initiated a mobile app called MegCop Watch, aimed at providing help to women and children in distress. The application shares the live location of any person in distress to the nearest police station for a quick and guaranteed response and intervention by the police. The app will help make Meghalaya safe for women and children. It will provide safety for women who are studying, working, staying alone in PGs, hostels, living in remote areas, traveling at odd hours for work. It will also secure children who are living with limited parental supervision, as parents have to often be away at work. This application is currently available in Khasi, English and Hindi. It is being launched in the city of Shillong and will be extended to cover all districts of Meghalaya in the upcoming months.
The MegCop Watch app, it's a great initiative by the Meghalaya Police. I myself use it and the response was great, and the Meghalaya Police were very, very helpful.
The MegCop Watch app has been of a great help for me personally, and now it makes me feel safe too, and I really appreciate Meghalaya Police for this. Download the app now.
All right, so welcome back, and now that you have also watched the clip, I'm sure you're all ready to listen to our guest here, our panelists here who have joined us to talk about women's safety and the role that Meghalaya Police is particularly playing towards this. So ma'am Supriya, safety, security of women. I mean, this is one aspect that we repeatedly talk about it, and yet there is never an end to it, right? Tell us how important is this aspect called the safety and the security of women all over India, as well as particularly in the state of Meghalaya and Shillong as well.
It is definitely it's the right time to speak about safety of women and children, because I feel that especially after the Nirbhaya incident in 2012, the conscience of the nation was shook, and today as women are becoming more educated, more aware of their rights, there is more reporting of such cases. I feel more and more women are coming forward to report cases of any kind of abuse or sexual abuse, and women are willing to fight for their rights today. So I feel as from the police department, we are trying to respond to such cases. We try to support these women, ensure that there is delivery of justice to whatever extent is possible from our side. So it is definitely a hot topic. It is something that should continue to be relevant, to encourage more and more women to come forward, because I feel there is still a long way that we have to go. We have to still develop further in this aspect. Crime against women and children are still happening despite the awareness, and we have to continue to respond to such crimes.
Absolutely.
And while a certain segment of the population is educated, has access to police, to the police station, etc., there is still a large part of the population that we have to reach out to, and it is absolutely necessary that every victim of violence or every victim of any kind of abuse
Crime, yes.
does receive help, counseling, rehabilitation and everything that comes with
Right.
it.
Because the damage that even if the crime is very small, it can be just a little eve teasing to something larger as say rape, say for instance, it does leave a very lasting impression on the individual, right? So Ma'am Rabha, if you can tell us what are some of the crimes that you have dealt with, especially when it comes to the state of Meghalaya, which are some of the very prominent crimes, because every state may differ in the types of crimes. So which are the ones which are most common here in the state?
Mostly the common is about sexual assault.
Okay.
The sexual assault, especially the cases that I have handled, is not only the cases like sexual assault, not only within the society, but it's within the family as well, where the stepfather happens to indulge into such things. So these were the cases that I had often encountered, and when come in contact with the victim and the victim's mother, they are unable to express their emotions at that point of time, because at the person, the accused himself is a part of the family member
Right,
there,
right.
and the daughter and the mother or any other member of the family is unable to express that whether he should be excused or whether he should be punished. So such cases, at that point of time, we have to be very careful and we have to be very sensitive, because at that point of time they are unable to give statement, and still we have to take our own time and we have to give their own time to handle such cases.
Right. And I think, handling of such cases which are so sensitive, because as you just said that, sometimes a family member, a very close family member is involved in such cases, and most of the time a tendency is to hush up the matter,
Yes.
right? But we don't realize what damage it has already done to the victim. Maybe she could be an underage and she wants to speak up, but yet she is kind of hushed up by the mother or by the pressure of other family members as well. And talking about crimes, ma'am, Supriya, you will agree with me that crimes these days have increased more, especially with the coming of technology, right? I mean, we hear of so much of cyber crime as well, where innocent children who don't know who's on the other side, who's following them, and they become victim. A little bit on cybercrime that the department is also dealing with, especially these days.
Yes, absolutely. The number of cyber crimes against women has been on the rise. Firstly, because of the widespread use of internet and social media. Today, everybody has a smartphone, and during the pandemic, we saw that a lot of children had access to smartphones, of course for educational purposes, but it comes with its own risks. So we have to balance both. Of course, we are not suggesting that the phones should be taken away or access to internet should be taken away, but certain do's and don'ts should be circulated, because we do see young children, also adults, becoming victims to cyberbullying, especially among school children and college students. We also see instances of cyber pornography, where sometimes in a consensual relationship also these things are used to blackmail and threaten once the relationship goes downhill. So so there should be greater awareness that the incidence of such crimes is not happening they are not few and far apart. They do happen. Anyone can become a victim of it, and with it the victim should not blame herself, but rather she should come out and report such cases, get the right help, and this will be a deterrent in society as well as spread awareness.
Absolutely, I can't agree with you more, really. And so the police department is always at its toes, I'm sure. You must be getting late night calls, or when you're busy in something else, maybe in a family gathering, you get calls. You're always on your toes, right?
Yes.
Ma'am Rabha, you'll agree with me that a police job is one of the most difficult jobs that one, and being a lady cop yourself, because you have your family, you have your other responsibilities
Yes,
too.
ma'am. Overnight, in midnight, we keep getting calls, especially incidences like this is never limited with time. It is always happening. Mostly we get calls at night and or early morning. This is the time where we receive calls. So we have to be ready all the time.
Right.
Provided we have families, we have to give them time as well, and also the profession that we are in, we have to manage this.
Right, right. Wonderful job, I'm sure the department is doing, always at its toes. And I've seen that the police department often, circulates these, these kind of information in the newspapers too. That you're not supposed to be doing this, don't accept any random calls, unknown numbers, etc. But still, as both of you said, that more awareness definitely needs to be created. And talking about awareness and support mechanism is recently the launched app that the Meghalaya Police and your department especially has launched, called the Cop Watch app. Tell us a little bit about this, and how did this begin? How did the idea actually generate?
So the idea of the MEG Cop Watch app came up when, as supervisory officers, we sift through multiple cases of POCSO and rape on a daily basis. The reporting fortunately has improved after, say, 2016-17, when massive awareness programs had taken place. Today, headmen, doctors, hospital authorities, everybody is engaged, are aware of the provisions of the POCSO Act, of 376 IPC. So whenever they also catch wind of such an offence that has taken place, they immediately inform police authorities. So there are a multitude of factors that have increased reporting. However, still we saw that reporting in most cases is very late. That means there is a tendency to not report. So for instance, a case would be reported of underage pregnancy, probably an outcome of a sexual assault. When in the late stage of pregnancy, a guardian would notice a minor girl being pregnant, would take her to the hospital, and the authorities there would inform the police, and it's after a gap of 6 to 7 months that we find out. Alternatively, there'll be cases where an ASHA worker would notice constant domestic violence in some house within her jurisdiction, and only after a period of time would she think, okay, I should probably mention this to the police before it gets out of hand. That is also late reporting, and these are indications that the victim herself is not always reporting to the police. So to remedy this situation, as I previously mentioned, that after all every victim should get justice, she should have a sense of relief, only then will she be able to join mainstream society and contribute to society. So we wanted to provide a mechanism where the victim will be able to ask for help when she's still in distress, still in panic, and she's sure 100% that help will come her way. So for this we needed a device or a tool within your phone, something that we carry with ourselves 24/7 all the time. So we came up with the MechCopWatch app, which has an inbuilt panic button. So the minute you double tap that panic button on your phone, your live GPS location will begin to be shared with the nearest police station wherever you may be in the city of Shillong, and immediately a distress call will also go to the police control room, the nearest police station of course, as well as some pre-saved friends and family contacts on that app. So you would have definitely sent a distress call and help will be on its way. So this is the basic concept and the idea behind the MechCopWatch app.
Right. So that means anybody who wishes to use this app should download the app first. So tell us how supposing I want to go ahead and download this app, what is the next process after that? I register myself, or how does it?
Yes, first of all you will find this particular app in Google Store. So it's available in Google Store. Also there are links have been shared to this particular app. So once you download, then the registration comes up where you can sign in with either Google or with Facebook. Then once you sign in, then you have to feed in your phone number where you'll receive an OTP. Then you'll receive the OTP, then the home page will come up. Homepage will come up where the panic button you'll notice there. So for a trial, what we can do is that we can tap on the panic button. So when you tap on the panic button, you stop it, and then you'll receive one message where a distress call has been sent to the nearest police station, and the PCR will call you. It will not even take even a minute. The PCR will get back to you, ensuring whether you're safe or not.
Okay. But then there is it's wonderful, of course. I mean, I congratulate the department for really coming up with such a novel thing, and it is so easy for any girl to use it, in the sense without really creating an alarm outside her. Even the victim may not know, but she's already sent that kind of a message when she is, say, supposing, held up by the victim. But network issue is a major issue in the Northeast, and here also in certain areas which is known as shadow areas, etc. So I would like to understand, once you download it, have the app, does it even work when there is no network, when there is no internet facility in that particular time or moment or area?
Yes, the app essentially works without network, in the sense that it will save your alert. And the minute you get any kind of network, it doesn't require a lot of data. It works on 3G as well. It will immediately send across the distress call. At the same time, the minute the distress call goes, we are also monitoring from CID. So if the distress call will take some time to reach the nearest police station in the case there is no network. From CID also we will get in touch with you within 24 hours to take an update. So whatever alert you are sending will be saved on the app irrespective of network.
Okay. So now tell us, Ma'am Rabha, like I'm sure this has been launched already a few months now, right, in the state of Meghalaya?
Yes, we had launched this during the International Women's Day.
Women's Day. So
8th
it's on March 8th. So
Yes.
just a month and a half back.
Right.
What has been the response of because I'm sure you have gone about educating people, visited education institutions also to popularize this. What has been the response of the people, of the students community or young girls or whoever?
As we have gone through many schools and interacted with many students, we always had taken the reviews after promoting the app, after explaining them about the app. We had taken the reviews, and it's surprisingly that we get a immensely positive response, and they are really happy about it that we had taken such initiative. However, of course, there may be some negative comments on it because of the network issue, but we had ensured them that without network also it will work.
It will work, yeah.
But then the students, especially female students, they had immense positive response to it, and they had been really thankful. They had expressed their gratitude to us.
Right. And ma'am, Supriya, I mean, after it has been launched, I'm sure there must have been some distress calls. What are the kind of calls that you have received so far?
So actually that has been very interesting. This app was conceptualized for women. It was launched on International Women's Day, as Neena just mentioned, and we've had we have had a few distress calls from women, but the distress calls have been of varied nature, and I feel this has become a tool that has brought the police closer to the public. So of course we've had a case of domestic violence in Nonminsong, where it was in the middle of the night. It was around 11:30, and the police from Nonminsong outpost immediately rushed to the victim's house and rescued her from the situation. So that case actually helped us actualize the idea and the possibility that we had thought the app would provide. But at the same time, we have seen myriad types of cases. For instance, in Morinkening, there was a case where there was a violent fight that was breaking out amongst neighbors. And there was actually an onlooker who double tapped the panic button and informed the police that there is this fight on the street, if you can come. And from Madan Ritting police station they rushed, which was the nearest police station in that case, and they separated the parties, and there was a woman involved who happened to be the aunt of the onlooker, and we helped her rescue from the situation. Similarly, in Laban, there was a fire incident that was reported using the app, and Laban PS team rushed to the spot. We also informed MECL, who also immediately came and sorted out the electric wiring issue, and that fire could have actually blown up into a much bigger situation. So we've seen different types of cases. Another very common case is where late in the evening, especially in Shillong, it gets a little chilly. There'll be some people on the road who should be taken to shelter homes. Sometimes they are victims of drug abuse, or mentally they need help and counseling. So even those kind of cases have been reported to us through their local headmans. So I feel the possibilities of this app are many, and different types of cases are beginning to get reported with this app. And I feel the response has been very swift from East Khasi Hills District Police. Police stations we have trained the police control room and the police station teams thoroughly multiple times, so that immediately when a distress call comes, they know exactly what to do. They know how to counsel the victim when they come in touch with her or him, and the procedure is put in place. So the response has been good.
So at the moment, how many people are there on the other side to receive these kind of distress calls?
So the distress calls are received by our operators in the police control room. They are on 24/7 duty on rotation. At the same time, we have the officers in charge in every police station of Shillong city. We have night duty officers also who are trained to respond to these calls. So we have a whole system in place for this.
Yeah. And it's so wonderful to know that it is working on a 24/7 basis, right? Because as we mostly know, most crimes, as you also said, are reported at night. because under the cover of darkness it's easier to commit a crime under the cover of darkness. But I am also told that this app can be downloaded not by anybody who's a Meghalayan, but even outside Meghalaya, isn't it?
Yes,
A
yes,
little
yes,
bit more on this, because that is very, very significant, I feel. Yeah.
Regarding in such cases, there has been abduction cases where a lady has been abducted from here and has been taken to Madhya Pradesh or maybe towards Delhi. So at that point of time, during the trial, when we had launched this, we have seen that we had received panic, we had received some certain response from out of the state, that is from Orissa, from Kolkata, from Delhi as well. So from that matter, what I have seen that if we receive such cases from outside the state, we can immediately contact from a police control room, we or for that matter CID, we can contact the SHO of the concerned jurisdiction out there. And telling them, because we receive the data, we receive every data, and then we can tell them that such and such person has reported to our app. There we can provide the phone numbers as well, so that they can attend to the victim. So this is how we can communicate with the other stations as well.
Yeah, so I think it's so wonderful that it is not only Meghalaya centric, but you are actually solving crimes and helping crimes with other states also.
Absolutely.
Right? With other states also. So I really hope this app has taken off, and it will take off more with more such awareness programs that you are conducting in many education institutions, as well as here that you've come.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure that it will really become a popular one, and more crimes will get sorted, and it will act as a deterrence, because that is what it is required, isn't it? Like, crimes are on the rise because mostly people think that they can get away with it. Now, once that fear is created that they cannot get away with it, and there is something called law and punishment attached to it, then I think the crime rates will come down. You feel, ma'am?
Yes, definitely. I feel just the fact, especially Meghalaya is such a society that where we don't see those typical rape cases that we hear of in newspapers elsewhere. Of course, there are cases where on the road there'll be eve teasing or somebody snatched away from a moving vehicle. But most cases, from our experience, what we have seen is within the house, or it's a known friend, or it's generally a known person. So just the fact that if all women have this on their phone, and everybody knows that this will be there in the phone, and it takes hardly a second to get in touch with the police, and that the police is responsive, then I feel this will act as a huge deterrent.
Absolutely. As we are almost winding up this program, any advisory from you, any advice, because you are here, there are little girls and parents and adults and men also watching. What kind of advisory or some words that you would like to share and address to them directly today?
So many things, but I would speak just more to the women and young girls who are watching this program, that if you ever you become a victim to any kind of crime, any kind of bullying or abuse, do not blame yourselves. The police, especially Meghalaya police, is there with you. Do report such cases, speak up, learn about your rights. Today the internet provides all sorts of legal provisions, so it's so readily available. Read up on it, see what you can do, get in touch with us and get help, and don't fall back in life. Continue with your education and your skilling or your jobs, whatever you are doing, and contribute to society, continue to contribute to society. That would be my advice.
Absolutely. Quickly from your end, because you are donning this uniform, looking so smart, and it has a lot of responsibility along with it too, right?
Like SP ma'am has mentioned, that please report. It's not only about your own cases. If you see your neighbors, your friends being assaulted or being harassed, don't just keep quiet, because probably they might not want to report it as well. But you do. Please don't keep your mouth shut, or don't let them keep your mouth shut. It is a matter to report. If they are harassed, which means it should be reported.
Absolutely, because any society, to bring in change in any society, I think every individual in a society needs to play a role. And since you both are there, and like you, there are many others also there in the department, and you'll have, I'm sure, through this app or otherwise also have built up a wonderful rapport with the public, that you all are there to help. right? Usually that there was a ancient times we used to have a fear seeing a uniformed personnel, but now I think that has loosened up much. We see you as more as somebody to help. So I think on that note, and seeing the two of you here, already climbed so much in your life, and I'm sure that you all are going to be role models also through this program, that yes, they can go ahead and join the department too. If you have the spunk in you, why not aspire to join the uniform service, right?
Yes,
Definitely,
in fact,
definitely.
even if you don't, it's not just about spunk, it's about passion.
Right.
I feel the armed forces, police forces are predominantly seen as male-dominated forces, and this concept needs to change. 50% of society is constituted by women. Crime against women and children are happening. Women are active participants in society today, whether it's a protest, whether it's any kind of rally. And we need women in the police services. It's a community-centric role. So yes, of course, everyone, we would encourage young girls to definitely look at policing as a career option and to join the force.
Right, right. I'm sure that we will bring you another time really to tell us and to guide our young viewers as to how they go about, joining and becoming you. I mean, at least little idea if they can come. Thank you so much to both of you, Ma'am Supriya and Ma'am Rabha, for coming to the studio and enlightening us so much about, this app that you have launched, the department has launched, and how helpful this app is, especially in controlling crimes in general and also keeping oneself safe. Thank you so much. So then, dear viewers, this is the topic that we have discussed. I'm sure you will be now downloading this app and seeing its usefulness, and I'm sure that it will bring in a much more safer environment around you and keep you safe as well. Thank you very much for joining this program. Do join us next time again when we will be back with you with another topic with some more important dignitaries in our program. Until next time, from all of us here is wishing you goodbye.